On the phone line with us, Brian Ledbetter, mind reader and mentalist, performing this Saturday night at the Lucky Dog Casino, myluckydogcasino.com, and you can find Brian online at ledbettermagic.com. Good morning, Brian.
Hi there, how are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
For sure, and really looking forward to talking with you about Saturday night's free show at the Lucky Dog Casino. Doors open at 7:30, starts at 8. And again, as I was perusing your website here today, ledbettermagic.com, you have been involved in on stage and performing and making people smile for a real long time. How did you get your start on stage, and when did you start understanding that you had some interesting powers to share with the audience?
Gosh, well, that is kind of a long story, but I'll make it short. I've always had an interest in mystery entertainment ever since I was a young child. I remember watching The Wizard of Oz when I was about, I think, 3 years old, and everything about that movie seemed magical to me. And I realized that I was really kind of drawn to sort of magical and unusual things. And as a kid, I was really involved in theater, starting when I was about 7 or 8, and was involved in theater for a long time. And in addition to that, I was interested in other kind of unusual things that a lot of kids don't really get into, things like clowning and puppetry and magic and ventriloquism, things like that. And so mentalism and mind reading was just kind of one of those things that I was naturally attracted to, and something that I started working on. And you asked at what age I knew I had those powers, and I tell people in my show I don't claim to have any sort of supernatural abilities. I use the abilities that everybody has, the very same abilities. I just use them in very particular ways. So in other words, I don't claim to be psychic. And I also don't claim that what I do is a magic show. I use principles of psychology, intuition, illusion, and perceptual manipulation to make these impossible things look like they're possible.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Also, as part of Dazzling Deceptions, the touring group that you do put on a couple different types of magic, and I'm imagining that Saturday will be your stage magic performances. What are some of the illusions that you'll be bringing forth to the audience at the Lucky Dog when they come and see you, and how much crowd participation do you get? How many folks from the crowd do you pull up on a night?
So in the show that I'll be doing at the Lucky Dog on Saturday, which we're really looking forward to, the website for that show, that type of show, is sensationalmindreader.com. So you're looking at a website that represents some different types of shows
Sure.
that I do. So at the Lucky Dog, I'm doing the mind reading show, the mentalism show. There's a lot of audience participation. There are comedic moments in the show, and it's all based around really strong, kind of unusual things that you don't see every day. I'll be reading the thoughts of audience members. I'll be making predictions, which hopefully come true. I'll be doing some demonstrations in telekinesis where I move things without touching them, using apparently only the power of the mind. I'll bend silverware without touching it. I'll be doing my blindfold routine, which is one of my signature pieces, and it's always a crowd favorite. It's where I'm very elaborately and thoroughly blindfolded. Poker chips are taped over my eye sockets with several strips of duct tape, and fabric is wrapped around my head.
Wow.
Blocking out all light and vision, and I still am usually able to perceive everything that's going on around me. I can identify random objects that audience members hold up. It's a really kind of strange and interesting and fun routine, and I think I can safely say that about the whole show. It's really a fun time.
It sounds like a fun time.
How much does your show evolve from the minute you get on stage and you start reading the crowd till you walk off stage, or is it a set performance that you would see if you were at the Lucky Dog, or if perhaps you were up performing with the Skagit Arts Theater or something like that?
That's actually a really good perceptive question for you to ask, because no two shows are the same. I never know what to expect. The audience certainly never knows what to expect. And because there's always that element of surprise, it keeps me on my toes, because the show is really kind of dependent and based on the audience. So even if I am doing the same routines in two different shows, like the same exact set of routines, it can look vastly different, and it does often look vastly different. And I think that's part of the reason why I have so many people who have seen my show time and time again, and I have so many clients who have booked my show time and time again, because it's always different. There are always fresh and unexpected moments in the show.
You can book and contact Brian again on his website, sensationalmindreader.com. We'll put the links to that in the show notes when we post this interview for folks. Otherwise, you'll be able to see him Saturday night, September 8th. Doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8. 21 years and older, of course, here at the Lucky Dog Casino. Exciting night with Brian Ledbetter. Limited seating, so you're going to want to get there early. And if folks are in the front row, do they get called on, or the folks in the back row get called on, or how does all that work?
It's so funny. I have so many people who will try to hide out in the back row, thinking that I won't be able to find them, or I can't see them back there. But I mean, hello, if I'm blindfolded and know what's going
you can
on,
tell what's going on. You know that where someone's sitting. That's fun.
Yeah, I can certainly see you in the back of the room. And one thing, too, I should quickly point out, a lot of people get nervous about this type of show. Like, oh, gosh, I don't want him to read my mind.
Right.
Or know what I'm thinking, or what will we tell my wife, and things like that. But it's nothing at all that's, weirdly strange or offensive or upsetting. It's a lighthearted show. It's all about having a good time. That's really the bottom line.
Well, make plans to go see Brian Saturday night. Doors at 7:30, shows at 8. Free show for you at the Lucky Dog Casino, just minutes north of Shelton on the 101. Brian, it was really nice talking with you this morning, and we'll put the links to the show notes when we post this interview. And good crowd out there, always, the Lucky Dog. They have a great folks that come and visit in, so I think it's going to be a fun show for you.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. For sure, we'll have a good time. And thanks for your time, too. I appreciate us having the opportunity to chat a little bit about this.
For sure, Brian. Well, I look forward to maybe talking with you again and for some upcoming performances, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you, sir.